Good morning, 5 o'clock. If you look outside, you'll see why it's a happy place to live. A beautiful moon right now in the western sky. We'll get a shot of that. It's hard to get a shot of that, John Scalzi, because it is so bright, it just about blows out our tower camera.
Yeah, it is a very bright moon and almost a full moon and gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The sky is so pristine, crystal clear right now that it's a beautiful viewing sky. We talked yesterday about lower dew points in the air and how that would lower our temperatures just a little bit. And in fact, they are cooler this morning. 4 degrees cooler in Sarasota, Bradenton and 4 degrees cooler. Mayaca City at 5 degrees and Inglewood, Northport, Point South, about 6 degrees cooler. Now that does lead to some patchy fog, mostly in well inland areas of Hardee and DeSoto County along the coastline. I don't think we're going to have much of a problem there. Our visibilities right now are about 10 miles or around that, so not an issue for your morning commute if you live along the coast, but well inland areas, yeah, you might have a little bit of a problem. We will see some clouds move into the picture, though, as we move into the next couple of hours. High, thin clouds to the north of us sinking southward, all part of a frontal boundary. Now that frontal boundary isn't going to move very far, and our temperatures are not going to be impacted all that much through the weekend. Right now we're in the 60s everywhere you look, and our daytime highs today will certainly not be a lot cooler than they were yesterday, coming in around 80. We'll have the forecast for the weekend, the all-important weekend, coming up in just a few, right?
Ah, yes, the weekend. I'm aware of that one. Here is the road conditions right now in Manatee County. Some buildup there around downtown Bradenton, particularly off 14th Street West. Otherwise, pretty clear at this hour of the day. Farther south, getting into Lakewood Ranch, you might see some congestion there through the diverging diamond. That wasn't supposed to happen. We'll check on that throughout the morning. And then farther south, our final map will reveal all clear at 5:02 on your Friday morning. Our top story, it is full speed ahead again to redevelop the Lido Key Pavilion. Commissioner Willie Shaw had a change of heart and tried to rescind last week's vote. But as our Rick Adams tells us, he didn't have enough support to shoot down the project.
Back on November 20th, Sarasota City Commissioners voted 4-1 in favor of approving a lease agreement for the Lido Beach Pavilion, where the tenant would pick up the bill for much-needed improvements to the property and transform the facility, which would feature a 200-seat restaurant. Thursday night, on a motion led by Commissioner Willie Shaw, there was discussion about backing out of the approval of the new lease. Vice Mayor Liz Alpert was one of the 4 who voted in favor of the lease agreement.
Commissioner Shaw decided to put it on the agenda. I have no clue why.
Thursday night's motion to rescind on the approval of the lease failed by a vote of 3-2. Shaw and Jen Ahern Koch were the 2 commissioners who voted to rescind. So that 10-year lease agreement with the option for 2 more 10-year leases will now move ahead as planned.
What was approved was actually what the residents had asked for on Lido Beach, and I think eventually they're going to love it.
Lido Beach development partners say they are going to pump nearly $4 million into the worn-down pavilion and pool, adding a splash pad, a tiki bar, and an ice cream parlor in addition to the restaurant. Many folks who are opposed to these plans include the Lido Key Resident Association. They say the master plan they came up with has gotten out of control.
We gave the City Commission a presentation on this, and it's gotten sideways now. It's much bigger than what we really wanted out there.
Shofstall and others were hopeful the city would take back the property and have it as a city-run public beach. In the end, some of the commissioners did have concerns about the legalities of rescinding on a vote that they had already approved. In Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
So construction on that pavilion should begin in the summer of 2018 and be done by the summer of 2019. Commissioners also talked about the process for reviewing the city's outdated zoning regulations. Form-based codes are designed to regulate the form instead of the use of the property. Among those at the meeting, members of the group called STOP.
The STOP group is working to change several aspects of Sarasota's zoning code. We're looking for wider sidewalks, public hearings when large new buildings are approved, and better traffic studies.
Commissioners will readdress the issue next month. The accused Tampa serial killer made his first appearance in court yesterday. 24-year-old Howell Donaldson is accused of shooting and killing 4 people in the Seminole Heights neighborhood. Donaldson wore a smock made to prevent him from hurting himself. The judge spoke to him through a video link. She ordered him held without bond. The state attorney is considering seeking the death penalty.
So consistent with my duties as state attorney, I will evaluate all the aggravating and mitigating evidence in this case to determine whether there is a legal basis to seek the death penalty under U.S. Supreme Court and Florida law. And if the case satisfies the legal requirements, and if it's consistent with what the defendant, the victim's families want, then we will seek the death penalty.
Police arrested Donaldson at the Ybor City McDonald's where he worked after receiving a tip from the manager who said Donaldson asked her to hold a bag for him. She looked in the bag and found a gun that police say was connected to all 4 killings. Now, questions remain about whether or not anyone will see the $100,000 reward offered to help arrest the killer. A local McDonald's manager where he worked, as I just said, tipped off police that the accused killer worked there. The distribution of the money is still being determined according to police, though payout is likely. Restaurant owner Richard Gosmart offered up to $9,000 in a reward and has already hand-delivered the check to the manager of that McDonald's. Other news now, Florida voters could decide next year whether to ban dog racing in the state. Greyhound racing has lost popularity as other forms of gambling have grown, but it still plays an important role because in pari-mutuel facilities, they need to have the races in order to offer more lucrative types of gambling like card rooms. Now, supporters of the idea to ban dog racing point to the injuries and deaths of the greyhounds.
This is, for me, a matter of conscience. Our society is and has changed. We are evolving as a people. We are becoming more sensitive to those who occupy this world with us, regardless of their species, and to those who are going to follow us for generations to come. And that's a good thing.
If voters approve this ban, it could take effect in the year 2019. Englewood Elementary School found a way for their students to handle bullying or stress. If any of the students are feeling overwhelmed, whether by bullying problems or just problems at home, they can sit on a designated yellow bench on the playground. It's called a buddy bench. The school has installed 3 of those benches with great success, they say. So successful, in fact, even some parents are using the buddy benches to meet with other parents on the school campus. Well, the Suncoast is a great place for the arts, but not a great place for artists to find affordable housing. The Arts and Cultural Alliance of Sarasota County and ArtSpace, which is a nonprofit that builds live-work projects, are hoping to send a message to the city for more affordable living options through a survey. Some other ideas they put forth include better access to communal space and equipment. The survey will be complete in a couple of weeks. Discussions are underway to build a raised median on US 301 between Fruitville and 10th Street in Sarasota. The $500,000 plan would have safe havens for pedestrians trying to cross the 4 lanes of traffic. Sarasota police say in the past 3 years alone, cars have hit 10 pedestrians, including 5 in the past year. Some say it's just not safe along that half-mile stretch.
I think that's a great idea too, because if you put a median there, it's 2 sides, you got traffic coming and traffic going. So I think that'd be safe too for a lot of the residents with the kids here.
FDOT will hold a public hearing at Sarasota City Hall next week. We'll have a tree lighting ceremony tonight on the St. Armand Circle. There'll be caroling, music, and a special visit from Santa Claus. Bob Harrigan will be at the event. We'll have details tonight at 7 and 11 on the first lights of the season in Sarasota. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office adding some humor to the holiday season. They are releasing this video on social media today. It's called A Canine Christmas and stars members of the Sheriff's Office Canine Unit. Here's part of the video.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store.
I could watch this all day. If you want to watch the video in full, we do have it on our Facebook page as well. National Geographic and Gallup created a list of the top 25 happy places to live, and guess what? Yep, Sarasota Manatee ranked 14th in the country. Some factors included financial security, vacation time, dental quality, of course, and the ability to learn something new every day. Boulder, Colorado came in first, and Naples was the only other Florida location it ranked at number 11 nationwide. That's a nice survey to make.
Yeah, Minnesota happy.
Yeah, we make a lot of those surveys, it seems.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, best places to retire, best places to live. But yeah, that's great.
I grew up in Buffalo. We didn't make those surveys.
Cleveland either. No, not so much. Some very pleasant weather coming your way for the weekend. Maybe that's one of the reasons we rank so high.
It's true.
We have lovely warm temperatures, low relative humidity. Perfect. We'll talk about the forecast in a sec.
Also ahead, first alert traffic, and the holidays are underway. We'll have a preview of some of our weekend events on the Suncoast. And next half hour, the latest on plans to change your taxes.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
And now, this is what I'm talking about. We have a temperature of 61 degrees, but the dew point value is now in the 50s, which I love. You know, we've had dew point values starting off the week, which were in the upper, almost 70 degrees, in the upper 60s at around 69 or so. And then that's beginning to feel just a little bit sticky and uncomfortable. So when you get back down into the 50s, that's fantastic. And it looks like that kind of a dew point, that kind of a feel to the air is going to be with us right straight through the weekend. So kind of nice. The winds now northeast at about 5. I think they'll be solidly northeast or even northerly today, as we have a front just to our north in a low pressure area that really isn't going to make it much further south than where it is right now. Moving through areas of North Florida, a lot of cloud cover up here. That's kind of keeping the temperatures a little bit higher. Panama City and Pensacola coming in the upper 60s. For us, 62 in Tampa, Orlando at 60, Fort Myers 63, Gainesville at 53. But locally, the temperatures reflecting that lower dew point air, with Mayaca City coming in at 59, Sarasota at 61, Northport at 59, Venice at 60, 64 degrees, Boca Grande, and 61 in Bradenton. That's very comfortable air as far as I'm concerned. Local air temperatures across the area in your neighborhood: Whitfield at 61. We have along Bee Ridge Road at 60 degrees. Siesta Key comes in at 61. Further down to the south, we're coming in at Rotundo at 63, Northport at 59, and Inglewood at 62. So very pleasant conditions most everywhere. Radar, of course, absolutely clear. There's nothing going on radar, and there won't be, I think, all weekend long, despite the fact that we have a front just to our north. All weekend long, we will see pretty quiet conditions in terms of rainfall. Now, there might be a little bit of patchy fog in Inland, Hardy, and DeSoto, but other than that, we're looking good today. Now, to the north, there is some patchy drizzle and some light rain in places. This is all associated with a frontal boundary that's trying to sing south, but won't have a chance to do that. It's going to pull up stationary and eventually just fade away, but it will keep our winds out of the north, and that will help to keep that drier air sinking southward. A little bit of rain shower activity up around the Atlanta airport, but not enough to interfere with air traffic. So that airport hub is just fine. That frontal boundary extends all the way up toward the down east main sections of the country. The rest of the country is looking pretty good right now. Got a few spotty showers back in the Four Corners due to an area of low pressure there. And in the Pacific Northwest, we have another frontal boundary which is beginning to take shape, still out in the water. That frontal boundary is the big cool down for us. That'll be headed our way by midweek next week, and it will certainly impact our weather. We'll talk about that in just a second. North wind at about 5 to 10 this evening, coming in out of the north at about 10. Light chop on Bay and Inland Waters. Beautiful boating weather, and I think it will be all weekend long. Daytime highs coming in near the 80-degree mark. Low humidity. Morning lows in the low 60s to upper 50s. That'll be the case through the weekend. Then next work week, we start to raise the humidity just a little bit in advance of that stronger front. Check out Thursday. That's when the cold air starts to filter in. Daytime highs only in the upper 60s. That should be pretty nice.
Oh,
right?
Well, I missed the 80s already, and I don't mean the music. Let's check First Alert traffic right now. You'll see some buildups there on 14th Street North heading towards State Road 70, also known as 53rd in that section of Bradenton. Let's check farther south now into the upper half of Sarasota County. You'll see some slowdowns there on 301 southbound as you cross over Fruitville. Also along the Bayfront, some blips there northbound. Checking our final map to the south, a little slowdown there on 41 southbound around Tarpon Point. Well, it should be a busy weekend around the Suncoast, including a boat parade in Venice and a downtown parade on Main Street in Sarasota. And I'll see you there, by the way. Our Linda Carson has our Suncoast scene.
The Sarasota Ballet presents Metropolitan. 3 ballets, all with a New York connection. It starts with a world premiere by Marcelo Gomez.
It's to Beethoven music and is very exciting. Immensely hard work for the dancers, but it's going to be really uplifting.
The second ballet is Illumination by Sir Frederick Ashton.
Then we finish with one of Mr. Balanchine, George Balanchine's true imperial Russian flair, and that's Theme and Variations, which again has never been done by this company before.
The Sarasota Ballet presents Metropolitan at the Sarasota Opera House Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30 and Saturday afternoon at 2. And Saturday night at 7, the 2017 Sarasota Christmas Parade steps off down Main Street, this year with a circus theme. And people from all over the world are flocking to Bradenton this weekend for the Bradenton Blues Fest.
Bradenton and Sarasota are really becoming a hub for the blues internationally. And we have people from 5 foreign countries, 35 states, and 225 zip codes in Florida.
Saturday is a sellout. You can come on Friday night for a free concert right here. It starts at 6 o'clock. And Friday, Suncoast kids get a taste of the blues. They'll meet Vanessa Collier, one of the stars of the Blues Fest.
Proceeds from our festival from Saturday support our blues in the schools, and it's this Friday with Vanessa Collier at Manatee High for 400 aspiring music students and patrons.
And on Sunday, a different kind of music. The Celtic Music Festival is at the Sarasota Opera House. There'll be great entertainment.
A medley of Christmas selections, some good Celtic classics, some good foot tapping music, and really to get you in the holiday spirit.
Motown Christmas opens at the West Coast Black Theater this week, and already most shows are sellouts. But There are a few tickets left for Saturday night if you call the box office.
But it's a review of Motown songs and Motown Christmas songs. It's a very spirited show. You can't help but sway and dance and go down memory lane.
What a weekend. Parades, blues, bagpipes, and ballet. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Linda. And during the holiday parade in Sarasota, police are going to add concrete blocks along the parade path. 3-ton blocks will be added at 15 different intersections to protect the people from the area. The barriers will be placed along the way along Main Street. Police hope these barriers become standard at all big events and activities. Tomorrow in Manatee County, the West Bradenton Crime Watch and Police Department are hosting their 5th annual Safe Kids Fair. There'll be a free bike helmet and IDs available for kids, as well as face painting, food, and service vehicles like the Bayflight copter and fire trucks to check out. The fair runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 19th Avenue West at the Westminster Presbyterian Church in Bradenton. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and the courts are partnering to make the holidays a little nicer for kids in state care. More than 1,500 children have been removed from their homes due to an abuse or neglectful situation. So you can drop off toy donations or gift cards at the Sheriff's Office, which is now on Cattle Ridge Boulevard in Sarasota. Facebook making it easier to donate to your favorite charities. It's setting up a $50 million a year Facebook donations fund. It will match giving to causes such as natural disaster relief. The social media giant is expanding charitable giving to 13 countries, plus Canada, New Zealand, Australia. Facebook is also giving relief organizations such as the Red Cross access to data on what users need and also where they are. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, GM says self-driving taxis are next. We'll have details of that one. And at 5:30, a bad second quarter for Barnes & Noble last year, but partly because what happened the previous year. Details on the way.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Special treat today during our Facebook Friday Live. Our new co-anchor, who starts on Monday, will debut on our Facebook Live today at 8 o'clock. So go to our Facebook page at ABC7 Sarasota. Also check out John and my pages as well for some local content. Funny thing happened to John yesterday at noon. You can watch that video. Also update the app, WWSB or My Suncoast at the App Store, and get breaking news delivered right to your cell phone. Welcome back, 5:24 on this Friday morning. The FDA has cleared the first medical device accessory for the Apple Watch. ABC's Kenneth Moten and Diane Macedo have the story.
TechBite's a new accessory for the Apple Watch that can monitor your heart rhythms.
It's a sensor that snaps into a band and when paired with an app can detect abnormalities. The user touches the sensor for a quick EKG reading, which can then be sent to a doctor. And General Motors has started the countdown to self-driving fleets of taxis.
GM says those fleets could hit the streets of several cities in 2019. The robot taxis would not have backup drivers. They should cost about $1.50 per mile. And AT&T has compiled a list of the top why do Google questions by state. In Louisiana, the top question people ask Google is, why do people yawn?
And in Washington, D.C., my home, the top search is, why do I sweat so much? Not me, Kenneth, but why do I sweat so much? And in Arizona, people are Googling, why do people lie?
Why do you sweat so much?
I don't know, but I do know that those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites. Brought to you by Chanel.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world, nah. But it won't mean nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
Coco Mademoiselle. Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
When food is good and clean and real, it's okay to crave. And with Panera Catering, there's more to go around. Panera, food as it should be.
We always come to Burlington to buy our coats.
And we also come to give them back, to help those in need. Can't beat the brands, the styles. And when we donate a coat at Burlington, we get 10% off our entire purchase. It makes buying coats here even more meaningful.
Bring in your coats!
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals, and I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, a not guilty verdict causes shock and anger in San Francisco. Affordable housing coming to Northport will have local reaction. And Moat wants to expand. We'll tell you how much they're asking the state for this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, 5:30 on a Friday morning. Glad you're with us. We have made it together to Friday. And if you look outside right now in the western sky, you'll see a beautiful sky, beautiful moon out there right now in progress. John, I'm excited right now, a little tongue twister, because this is our final day of the two of us.
That's right.
Monday, another Stephanie.
And you'll love her. She's absolutely wonderful.
A different Stephanie.
Yeah, different Stephanie. Great sense of humor, just like the other Stephanie.
Yeah.
And, you just love her. She's great.
So that's Monday.
Fantastic.
Monday we'll be reunited with a third person, and then a little more tidbit for you. We'll add a morning reporter in the coming weeks as well to have some live reports around the area. So a lot of growth here on Good Morning Suncoast, John.
A new era.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Cool start to the morning. We have a little bit of patchy fog out there because it is so cool. Mark in Palmetto reports 55 degrees. Richard in Northport reports 55 degrees as well. The maps are showing most of the fog indicated here in yellow and oranges is in inland locations. So Hardee and DeSoto County, you might have a little bit more fog than anybody else along the coast. I don't think it'll be a big deal. Local temperatures are on the cool side, no doubt about it. 61 degrees in Arcadia, Northport at 61, 62, Venice 65, Longboat Key, and there's certainly many, many patches of 50s out there this morning, significantly cooler than 24 hours ago by about another 5 to 10 degrees. A satellite view shows a little bit of cloud cover trying to sneak its way in. That cloud cover will, pass by from time to time, but it's going to be high, thin clouds. It's not going to be a big deal. It's all part of a cold front to the north of us that is not going to make it here. 80 degrees, our daytime temperature at about 4 p.m. We'll probably have a high temperature an hour or two before that, coming in at around 81 degrees or so. No rain in today's forecast. Weekend forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, thank you, John. A little build up there on State Road 64, also known as Manatee Avenue West. As you get around 59th Street West, be aware of that little congestion spot. Farther south now into northern Sarasota County, pretty clear. You see University has some slowdowns heading in the eastbound lanes into Lakewood Ranch, also along the Bayfront, the northbound lane where it reattaches to 301. Farther south, you'll see a couple slowdowns, nothing major to report at 5:33 now on your Friday morning. Our top story this half hour, some new concerns about how tax reform could affect the federal deficit. ABC's Arlette Saenz has the latest.
Senate Republicans are working in overdrive, hammering out the final details of their tax plan.
Failure's not an option. We need a tax cut.
The package got a big boost from Senator John McCain. This summer, he sank the GOP health care bill. Now, he's on board for taxes. But Republicans are scrambling to win over the holdouts.
Do you think there's any chance you don't pass this bill?
I think it's likely to pass. One of those holdouts is Senator Bob Corker, seen here on the Senate floor huddling with GOP leaders. Corker's concerned about how much the plan adds to the federal deficit.
We haven't got to the finish line yet.
Senator Ron Johnson is also withholding his support. He wants more tax cuts for business owners. The plan cuts tax rates for individuals and corporations. The corporate tax cuts are permanent, but the individual rates go back up in a decade. A recent Congressional Budget Office analysis found those earning over $100,000 a year will benefit the most. And in 10 years, lower and middle income Americans lose out. Senate Democrats are blasting the bill.
What this is a grab bag full of special interest goodies for multinational corporations.
On CNN, independent Senator Angus King criticized the process.
To call this a circus would be an insult to circuses.
After postponing the votes last night, the Senate will be voting this morning, but it's unclear what exactly they'll be voting on. Those negotiations are expected to play out in the coming hours. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson's days in the White House may be numbered. Some say the White House is considering a plan to replace Tillerson with the CIA director, Mike Pompeo. Tillerson's relationship with President Trump has grown increasingly strained over the past few months. Pompeo's vacancy at the CIA would be filled, perhaps, by U.S. Senator Tom Cotton. A not guilty verdict for the illegal immigrant accused of killing a woman in San Francisco. President Trump calls it disgraceful. Garcia Zarate was accused of killing Kate Steinle in 2015. She was shot and killed while walking with her father along the waterfront. Defense attorneys say the shooting was an accident. Although the 45-year-old Garcia is not guilty of murder, the jury did convict him of felony possession of a firearm. Now, immigration officials say they'll try again to deport him. He's already been deported 5 times before this fatal shooting. Argentina says it is ending the rescue operation for that Navy submarine, but the military says it will keep trying to find the vessel. It last made contact over 2 weeks ago. There were 44 people on board from the Argentinian Navy. The U.S. was among the countries trying to help find that missing submarine. Bookseller Barnes & Noble had lower sales in the second quarter, and the reason might be Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child hit stores during the second quarter of last year, and there was no new installment this year, and that had an impact on Barnes & Noble's bottom line. Sales fell 8%, and the company said it expects sales will be flat for the rest of the current fiscal year. According to a recent report, items harmful to your kids may be stocked on store shelves. The fidget spinner has more than 300 times the legal limit for lead in children. The report states the biggest hazard involves small kids and small toy parts as well.
Choking hazards are actually the leading cause of recalls as well as deaths, unfortunately.
Now, to see if a toy is safe, use a toilet paper roll to see if the parts fit inside. If they do, then it's too small for kids ages 3 and under. So be aware when you shop and keep your child's safety in mind. The nation's largest retailer has removed a T-shirt from its website that many found offensive. It threatens journalists. Walmart pulled the shirt from its website Wednesday. It features the words rope, tree, journalist, some assembly required. Well, the Radio TV Digital News Association says it brought the apparel to Walmart's attention in a letter. It believes the shirt would openly encourage violence targeting journalists. Hours after the letter was received, Walmart removed the shirt from its official website. Back in this area, 2 Sarasota men are behind bars after allegedly selling meth to undercover detectives. Sarasota County Sheriff detectives say Samuel Stringer and Jeffrey Chung sold them meth 3 different times. While arresting Stringer, deputies say they also found ammunition, narcotics, and paraphernalia. Chung, who is already in custody at the county jail, also faces 2 counts of sale of methamphetamines. Northport police arrested this man for animal cruelty. Brace yourself now. They say 62-year-old Roman Scarba first beat and then shot his Cocker Spaniel with a BB gun. Veterinarians later had to euthanize Fluffy. They say the man was passed out on the couch after drinking all day long. He is charged with 1 felony count of animal abuse. Florida state officials are reacting to accusations involving the chain Massage Envy. More than 180 women have accused therapists nationwide of inappropriate sexual contact. Florida officials say they have worked for years to prevent similar acts from happening. Therapists say the state does background checks and fingerprints before issuing a therapist license. A new affordable housing complex is in the works in Northport. The city commission approved the developer's application. 189 units geared toward people who work full-time but are still unable to afford typical rents. Northport is home to many young families, and at least one single mom we talked to said she's excited about the possibilities.
The last 5 years, I've been trying to get into programs, just trying to save up what I can in between. And still, you know, like my kid is 5 now, and we still share a bedroom.
Monthly rental payments will be adjusted to be about 45% of each tenant's budget. The complex could be open as soon as the year 2020. Northport asking for community feedback about the quality of the fire department. The city wants to find out what the department can do better and what it's already doing right. There'll be an input session Monday night from 6 to 8 p.m. at the community center, which is located on West Price Boulevard. Moat Marine is hoping the state can help with expansion plans there. They're requesting $1 million from the state to build more labs. Right now, the facility houses 200 staff members and 24 research programs and plenty of marine life as well. Moat says they've made the most of it over the years, but now they need some extra help to expand with extra space. The area's oldest saltwater bait and tackle store is allowing its lease to expire. Hart's Landing will expire last night, and a new vendor will be in place today. The shop is located under the Ringling Causeway. The new vendor is named Teviton LLC. The city says it will continue to be a bait and tackle shop. The new lease again takes effect today, December 1st. The Atlantic hurricane season is now over as of today, and it won't be soon forgotten, that's for sure. There were a total of 17 named storms this season. Of those, 6 were major hurricanes, meaning they reached Category 3 or higher. 3 of those major hurricanes hit the U.S., Harvey, Irma, and Maria. Here in Florida, Irma cost about $100 billion in damage. All told, the storms cost $500 billion in damage. 2017, a year we won't soon forget, John.
Absolutely right. I mean, it reminds you of 04, 05.
Oh, yeah, remember that?
Yeah, really rough conditions out there.
Yeah.
Well above average hurricane season. La Nina partly responsible, and we might have another La Nina coming our way next year as well. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. It's a long way away, but certainly it's a good time in this quiet season to prepare by, you know, doing any kind of maybe some slight renovations on your home. Some of them are pretty cheap to do and can make a big difference, particularly if you have a gabled-in house. If you do, you might want to check into that. We have across our region some pretty quiet conditions this morning, that's for sure. Cooler than average temperatures. It's nice.
That's all right. All right. Also ahead, first alert traffic. And how soon does arthritis begin? Sooner than you might think. A story coming up in Health Smart.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 61-degree air temperature, and a lot of starry skies out there tonight. Dew point value coming in pleasant in the 50s. You know, it's been in the 60s, even upper 60s this week. So it's nice to get it back down into the 50s. That feels pretty comfortable. Kind of a crisp feel to the air out there this morning. The winds are out of the northeast at about 5. That little northerly component to the wind is helping bring those dew point temperatures down. 61 still a little above average for this time of year, but we're getting pretty close to average, and we will be below average pretty soon now. So this little warm streak that we've been having, it's coming to an end. It's the end is in sight, as they say. You'll see it reflected in the extended range forecast. Across the state, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s most everywhere. Locally, we have some 50s on the board. 58 in Arcadia, 59 in Mayaca, Wauchula at 59. Becky in Mayaca will be calling in, and I'm sure she'll have a temperature that's even cooler than that. She lives in a traditionally cooler spot. 61 in Bradenton, Sarasota at 61. Venice at 62, Northport at 59 degrees. And your local area temperatures are visible on the map here. You can pick them out if you like, and you'll see them generally coming in the upper 50s, low 60s, most everywhere as you head out the door this morning. So we are looking at pretty quiet conditions across the state currently. We do have a little bit of patchy fog in inland areas. Wauchula, Arcadia may see a little bit of patchy fog there, but it's not real thick. It's not real bad. Those dew point values lowered are helping to reduce the threat of major fog issues across the state. We don't have much in the way of rainfall either locally or really throughout most of the state of Florida. We do have some scattered areas of drizzle and some light rain to the north up in the Panhandle due to a frontal boundary trying to sink south. I say trying because it's never going to make it to us. It's going to fade out just to the north of us as it stalls out. But it will keep our winds out of the north, or at least have a northerly component to our winds today. And that's going to help draw down that slightly lower dew point air than we saw at the beginning of the week. So nice stuff coming our way over the next several days. Most of the country looks pretty quiet and tame. So if you're traveling today, I don't really see any airports that are going to have a big problem today. Everywhere you look, the precipitation is either light or conditions are quiet. So that looks good. A big ridge of high pressure is the reason for that, expansive across the United States and into the Atlantic waters. And a little area of low pressure and a frontal boundary trying to sink south, located just to our north, in the process of stalling out and fading out and eventually just washing away, but keeping our winds out of the north. So we are left with weather features into the weekend that include mostly sunny skies, dry, and relatively comfortable humidity for this time of year, I think. If you look across the nation, you really don't see much in the way of major cloud patterns. A few scattered showers to the north, as I mentioned, but they tend to fade out. For us locally, everything looks pretty good, pretty quiet. Now, if you look at the long-range computer models, check this out. Blues and kind of violets, that's colder air, and that colder air is headed our way. North wind at about 10 knots. Nice day for boating. Light chop, 2-foot seas. And the forecast of the weekend keeps us near the 80-degree mark. And then everything changes next week with that colder air arriving on Wednesday and really filtering in starting on Thursday. Daytime highs only in the upper 60s, Ray.
Oh boy, big change. Thank you, John. Thank you. Checking First Alert traffic right now. 301 southbound, some slowdowns there at 15th Street East, otherwise pretty quiet in Manatee County. Northern Sarasota County shows us a little slowdown on the westbound lane on Bee Ridge Road around Tuttle. Otherwise pretty clear. Farther south, and the final map will show us a couple blips there in the 41 southbound area between Tarpon Point and Port Charlotte. In this hour's Health Smart, most of the new research on arthritis involves those under the age of 65. In fact, new research found that about 1 in 5 men and about 16% of women ages 18 to 64 report some joint symptoms. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says about 55 million Americans had a doctor diagnose them with painful joint inflammation and stiffness. The Arthritis Foundation suggests some tips. That is, take any medication prescribed by a doctor, manage your weight, and do stay active with aerobics, yoga, and walking to help reduce joint pain and improve flexibility. President Trump has pledged to donate his entire salary to charitable causes and federal programs, and his third quarter paychecks are going to help battle the opioid epidemic. He has said that the drug crisis is a key focus for him. In fact, you'll recall in last October, he declared the opioid crisis a national health emergency.
His decision to donate his salary is a tribute to his compassion, to his patriotism, and his sense of duty to the American people. But it's his compassion, above all, that drives his interest in the issue to which HHS is going to devote his donation, America's devastating opioid crisis.
Past paycheck donations include the Department of Education and the National Parks Service. It is December 1st, World AIDS Day. Red ribbons will be out today. Support for the nearly 37 million people living with HIV and AIDS in this country. This number includes 2,000 Floridians, by the way. World AIDS Day was first launched in 1988 by the World Health Organization. Still ahead, your top local news headlines and a Star Wars character looking for work in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The story after this.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
We're still in hurricane season. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Here are the top headlines on the Suncoast this morning. Prosecutors may seek the death penalty against the man suspected in the Seminole Heights killings. Howell Donaldson was arrested earlier this week. Moat Marine hoping the state can help with expansion plans. And National Geographic ranks as the 14th happiest place in the country. Boulder, Colorado was first. Naples was 11th. Finally, the Fort Worth, Texas Police Department has an out-of-this-world welcome for rookies. It features the Star Wars character Chewbacca joining the Force, the police force, not the Force in Star Wars. The video shows Chewbacca going through a series of tasks, traffic stops, and training.
Aren't you a cute little doggy?
It also ends with a message telling the recruits to always show courtesy and respect to citizens and always provide professional service, and may the Force be with you. Reminds me of how the flight attendants and the airlines somehow have clever videos these days and instructions to say the usual stuff that's been said for decades.
You remember things more clearly, I think, if there's humor involved.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is true. Wonder if they have to pay a royalty to George Lucas.
I wonder. Now, speaking of wonder, we both saw that movie last week called Wonder with Julia Roberts.
We did.
There were several Star Wars characters and references in that.
Yes.
Did they have to pay a royalty to Star Wars for that, do you think?
Don't know.
I would think so.
I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they got paid to put them in there. Product placement.
Yeah, well, there's that all the time. Yeah, good movie, by the way. Wonder. It's good for kids and adults.
It is fun.
Real uplifting about young boys. It's got some challenges. All right, folks, more local news, John's forecast, and much more next hour. Stay with us.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.